Hello YouTube and my social media. I hope you are all doing well. My name is Pedro Rodrigues Ribeiro. I'm a psychologist from Portugal, in case you didn't know. And today I would like to introduce to you an integrative model called Cognitive Hypnotherapy. Now, if you are familiar with my videos and my work, you probably will know that hypnotherapy and the concept of hypnosis as a psychotherapeutic model, it's not something that I believe in, that I vouch in. So, hypnotherapy, by its name, it's therapy with hypnosis or therapy using hypnosis. So, hypnotherapy is something that might not exist because hypnosis is not a psychotherapy intervention. It's not a psychotherapeutic model. It's more a coadjuvant. It's a tool. It's an approach which we can use in psychotherapy, in our own intervention. But hypnosis by itself, it's not a therapeutic intervention. So, why do I want to introduce something that it's called cognitive hypnotherapy? Well, because cognitive hypnotherapy is a psychotherapeutic intervention, and it's a specific model that exists and that's evident, in its evidence-based, or it's something that was generated by research. Now, if you go search in the literature, you might encounter different people talking about cognitive hypnotherapy, or probably some different approaches to cognitive hypnotherapy. Now, I'm utilizing what is evidence-based and research-based cognitive hypnotherapy, and that model was produced by Hassan Aladdin. Dr. Aladdin, or Dr. Aladdin, as you might pronounce it, was a psychologist, a psychotherapist, and a researcher. He passed away a couple of years ago, and he had two interests, or two main, focus on research, that is cognitive therapy and hypnosis. By the early 2000s, Dr. Aladdin developed cognitive hypnotherapy, or his model, or his model of cognitive hypnotherapy, and he published a couple of articles and did a lot of research into cognitive hypnotherapy. Now, this particular model is the integration of cognitive therapy and hypnosis, as you may notice by the name cognitive hypnotherapy. So, what Dr. Aladdin proposes is we insert hypnosis into cognitive therapy. We do the case conceptualization as cognitive therapy. We evaluate the case, we diagnose the case as cognitive therapy, and we utilize a lot of cognitive therapy strategies or approaches or techniques, such as intervention on irrational beliefs, cognitive restructuration, or downward arrow. A lot of techniques. The original part is that we do all these things with within the hypnosis process or the hypnotic state, as you may prefer. So the client is hypnotized, and the hypnotic process, the hypnotic state is produced, and inside that state or that process, the therapist works in a cognitive-based approach. That's why it's called cognitive hypnotherapy. The only new thing that hypnosis provides into the conceptualization is a notion that a lot of hypnosis practitioners and a lot of social cognitive researchers developed, that we provide ourselves with suggestions. It's a kind of self-hypnosis. We are constantly suggesting things to ourselves. Now, when we are in the specific state, for example, in the state of anxiety, a state of depression, so on, the suggestions that we give ourselves are mostly negative. So it's a negative self-hypnosis or a negative autosuggestion. So the hypnotherapist or the hypnosis practitioner realizes that in a certain way people are already hypnotized. They self-hypnotize themselves. That doesn't make sense. They self-hypnotize with negative suggestions. So one of the resources that hypnosis brings is to break that negative autosuggestion, that negative self-hypnosis. And certainly self-hypnosis as a process can and will be taught. Forgive my English. Will be taught to the client. So it's a phased process with certain steps. Like cognitive therapy, we do an interview, observation. We might have the need to pass some psychological assessment tests or questionnaires. We developed a hypothesis. We can develop or think in a diagnosis or a diagnostic possibility. So we do all those things, and when we get to the intervention part, we utilize hypnosis to facilitate and to bring more efficacy, more power to our intervention. with cognitive strategies and some other strategies that you can think or it might be useful to apply in a specific situation. So, as I said, cognitive hypnotherapy is an evidence-based, is a research approach. So, Dr. Aladdin, or Dr. Aladdin, as you might want to pronounce it, wrote a couple of articles and books on that specific model. What research tells us is that cognitive hypnotherapy is a good model and can produce good results, especially in the field of humor disorders, like, for example, depression, anxiety, phobias, certainly pain management, some psychosomatic disorders. So it's a robust model. Probably it will benefit from additional research, probably into other situations. Unfortunately, Dr. Aladdin passed before it could be done. So it's something that someone can pick up and really research and really continue that line of work. As reading recommendations, I would like to leave you with Cognitive Hypnotherapy, an integrated approach to the treatment of emotional disorders, from, obviously, Dr. Hassan Aladdin. This book is the manual, the textbook for cognitive hypnotherapy, or at least his model of cognitive hypnotherapy. It's a well written and well researched book. The first part really leans into integration and why hypnosis can be integrated into psychotherapy from a perspective of common factors, technical eclecticism, etc. So it's a well written book. Another book from Dr. Aladdin is this one, Integrative CBT for Anxiety Disorders, an evidence-based approach to enhancing cognitive behavioral therapy with mindfulness and hypnotherapy. So this book is essentially based into the intervention with anxiety disorders and how mindfulness and hypnosis can boost cognitive behavioral therapy into these approaches. It's another great book. To finish this video, I would like to reference or give you a brief reference into another cognitive hypnotherapy model or cognitive hypnotherapy approach that you may find into the literature. Now, this cognitive hypnotherapy approach was written by these gentlemen, William Golden, E. Thomas Dowd, and Fred Friedberg. I know that Dr. Thomas Dowd recently passed away. Also, he was a CBT therapist and researcher, and also a hypnosis practitioner. They written about cognitive hypnotherapy also with this book, Hypnotherapy, A Modern Approach, and later Dr. Thomas Dowd wrote this book, Cognitive Hypnotherapy, which is also a really good book. I highly recommend it also. But to summarize, the approach that Dr. Dowd and his colleagues took on cognitive hypnotherapy, it's a little different from Dr. Aladdin's approach into cognitive hypnotherapy. Dr. Aladdin's model is research-based, is evidence-based. So you have research, you have the model, you have the results. So if you are into cognitive hypnotherapy, or if you would like to know more about cognitive hypnotherapy, I will highly recommend you to take a look at Dr. Aladdin's work. I hope that this video gave you something new, or at least something that you already knew and gave you more information. I hope you have a nice week, that you stay safe. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.